And you thought the Snyder Cut was the last bit of news for DC movies. What's going on, you guys? James here with some real news, and Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. Yes, I know, if that confuses you, it confuses me too. But before we dive into the news, guys, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel below and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any breaking news just like this. Smash that like button because it does a ton to help out the channel. And get loud in the comments below. What do you think of Henry Cavill possibly coming back as your Superman? Because hey, I kind of like it, but we'll dive into why I like the news in a little bit. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look first at the report from comicbook.com. And I quote, "Comicbook.com has learned that Cavill will reprise his role as Clark Kent, though for now a sequel to Man of Steel is not currently in the works from the studio. Instead, it sounds like Cavill's Superman will operate in a similar capacity to Marvel's use of Nick Fury in the Hulk, appearing in films for a supporting role or even smaller cameos." Superman and small kind of don't go together, but let's hope that's not the case. Okay, so there's a ton to unpack from just that one paragraph alone. Yes, I would really love to see this happen. And not because I'm still riding the high of the Snyder Cut being announced on HBO Max. I'm being serious, guys. I liked Man of Steel, and I actually liked it more the second time I watched it. Yes, when I saw it first in 2013, a lot of my friends were down on it, and I was in the middle, but then I watched it again at home, and I thought it was much more beautiful the second time around. And I don't know, guys, I still think Henry Cavill is one of the better Supermans to don the suit. He's very stoic, he's got a nice personal touch to the character, and I still like Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I think that both of them really played to each other's strengths very well, and yeah, Zack Snyder had himself a winner with Man of Steel. I get it, there are some flaws, and it's understandable, but it didn't bring the movie down enough for me to not like the film. This is kind of weird, though, because you hear this sort of news and you're like, well, after Justice League, it felt like impossible that he would even come back as Superman, and now that they're even talking about it, to me sounds like good timing because of the Snyder Cut being released next year on HBO Max, and this seems to be not coincidental. I actually think that maybe they were talking about it for a while, and they wanted to first release the news of the Snyder Cut, which of course was announced last week on Vero. I really think that he will come back, and it won't be for a Man of Steel sequel, but I'm still crossing my fingers for it. Now, the Nick Fury role, that would be weird for me because Superman is really such a larger than life character, and he means a lot for so many who aren't even DC fans. And for him to come and play a minor role like that, I mean, I get it. Nick Fury had a really big role all the way up until Winter Soldier, and then we started seeing less and less of Sam Jackson as the MCU went on. But I don't want that to be the case for Henry Cavill. I think he still has a lot more to do in the suit. And I know, I said this in a video I did with a buddy of mine, that the DCEU is totally done. I thought that they were on life support when Justice League was coming out, and then it failed critically and definitely at the box office, didn't do as well as Warner Brothers thought. So I figured, okay, DCEU is done. But now that this happened, and of course the Snyder Cut got announced, it almost feels as if the extended universe is getting another breath of life. And that would be really interesting to see is how they handle it moving forward, because it seems like, you know, with the Joker one-off and Matt Reeves' Batman still hanging in the balance. I mean, we have a new Bruce Wayne, and they're still talking about the old cast. So how does that work? Is this Batman in a different universe, and maybe you get Ben Affleck to come back as well now that Henry Cavill's on board, reportedly? It's very weird, and I think that there's a lot of confusion among fans. I mean, definitely for this fan, there's confusion. I'm not sure what they'll do with Henry Cavill as he's coming back as Superman, but it will be interesting to see if they even use him in a larger than just a supporting role. We'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think that with this news, and then you couple that with this week's tweet that David Ayer sent out about his cut of Suicide Squad basically being done except for some visual effects. It's a weird time, I think, for Warner Brothers too. So not just as fans, but AT&T and Warner Brothers are gonna have to figure this out and sit down and see if they want to continue with the DCEU, because a lot of people kind of gave up on it. The general audience was disinterested after Justice League, but this is sparking some new life. And like I said, I love Henry Cavill as Superman, and I really did like Man of Steel. I want a Man of Steel sequel so badly, and I do think Zack Snyder deserves another shot. But it's just, I guess, now conflicting. Does Zack Snyder want to continue directing DC films, or maybe you let him do what he was going to do now that you know, all this is over. He has a zombie movie coming out, and I think that he's gonna maybe do some more individual projects. But this is gonna be very interesting. The passion is there from the fan base. And of course, Henry Cavill showing up in Vero's live stream last week with Zack Snyder. That shows that he's still interested, and we know Zack and Debbie are definitely down with it. So it's gonna be interesting to see moving forward how this shapes up. But don't let me do all of the talking, guys. Let me know below in the comments if you want to see Superman come back as a main role. Do you want to see him in another Man of Steel movie, or are you okay with him being just a supporting character in these films? It would be very weird to see Superman just return in Shazam 2 or Aquaman 2 or another Wonder Woman film and he's just there for 2 minutes, right? That would be very odd. And if you haven't already, guys, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like and share this video with all your Superman and DC friends. I already have a friend that's pretty much freaking out on Twitter. Chris, if you're watching, praying for you. Okay, guys, I got a movie to watch. Amazon Studios sent me a screener. Thankful for it. Look out for that review on the channel. Again, I appreciate you guys taking your time and watching this video, and I'll catch you at the next screening.